just moving faster than you are, and you're not going to keep up. And I do think the ability to go fast, the ability to make decisions fast, act fast, correct your mistakes, and keep going will separate winners from losers more than ever. That's kind of been true in tech for a while. I think it's true in any business. Time is a really important factor in determining who wins and who doesn't. I would say, as was said up front, it's important that you have a technology plan. Technology, skills, and scale are the new buying cloud. It used to be bigger brands can have more brands that pull together like Procter and go squeeze the television networks, they'll get better pricing. That's true, but it's less relevant in an auction model. It's less relevant in an addressable model. You've really got to make sure you've got skills and scale there. And related to technology, what I would say is clouds are better run by servers than by humans. I have to say, coming from a business with 44,000 people to one that has only 2,000 people but produces a bigger market cap, I like 2,000 people and 73,000 servers better. I like humans, but in moderation. The nice thing, because you know what I learned about servers? A server has not whined at me. A server has not asked for a bigger office. Servers get paid less each year. They work on Christmas morning. And when they break, you throw them out. It's a lot easier than people. I say that a little bit in jest, but I think all of us need to look at what things we're doing with humans that we could do with machines. Because honestly, if you're using this precious human mind to do something a machine could do, you're wasting that mind. Really create leverage for your people, invest in technology, make sure you automate as quick and fast as you can. A, it will help you go faster. B, it'll make the human experience more useful in the company, and that'll make it more useful for the humans that buy your products. So, that's my advice. Thanks.
So, David, I just want to bring the huge march of video kind of down home to the topic of the night, which is all of the challenges that face digital marketers and how to figure out where to spend your resources. It sounds like what you're saying is the landscape as it is might be plenty complex with trying to market your brand in various forms, but companies probably now underestimate the potential that they're going to have and that their competitors are going to have in interactive TV. What you're saying is, over the next couple of years, this is something that they have to get out ahead of and use as a channel for marketing. I think that's
yeah. Well, so I think it's really dangerous to think about digital marketers. I think we're marketers. I think we're marketers to human beings. I think human beings have moved to digital. They're moving at a faster pace. I think this continuation of the television people and the digital people is a real mistake. Because the television people don't learn digital skill in the next 6 months, you don't have a prayer for 2012. I mean, it's moving at that pace. And so I think this is, up until now, we've had kind of the geeky analytic data version, we've had the big brand version. The whole thing is becoming digital. And so I think it's a big convergence of cultures. And if I go back to Netflix versus Blockbuster, if you go back to lots of models, I think there's a real risk for a lot of traditional companies that they just think this is not going to come that soon. And it's going to be here within 5 years. And if they don't get in front of it with their total marketing, new companies with new models will just go right past you.
So, speaking of companies trying to get ahead of trends, Josh Bernoff is Senior Vice President for Idea Development at Forrester Research, and he has a new book out right now called Empowered: Unleash Your Employees, Energize Your Customers, and Transform Your Business. And it's all about ways that companies are trying to deal with the fact that consumers increasingly have claimed maybe the upper hand in the power dynamic. And so, Josh?
Okay, thanks. So, unlike Chris, I actually went here to MIT and studied math. I actually had a career ahead of me as a mathematician, and that's how I know I did the math, listening to what you said, in the time you were talking, I fell behind 1,000 years in my video viewing. That's how much video has been put up on the internet since you started talking. It's probably accelerated a little since you started talking. So
that was good, David. You don't need to watch it all.
Okay. Yeah, so since I did the math in the late Cretaceous period of the dinosaurs, I've been studying marketing, and I thought I'd start with a little bit of math and then talk to you about what that means in terms of how you do marketing. So here's the math for you. We do surveys at Forrester Research, and we recently did a survey for the book Empowered, in which we asked people, how frequently do you write about products and services? How frequently do you express your opinion about that in places like Facebook and Twitter and blogs and so on? And also, how many followers do you have, how many friends do you have, and so on, that are seeing that? And then we did the math and we scaled it up. So as a result of that, I can tell you that in the United States, every year, people make 500 billion impressions on one another about products and services. And this is in social environments. That's 500 billion impressions. Now, just for some perspective, during the same time period, according to Nielsen Online, people received 2 trillion impressions in online advertising. So already people are making 1/4 as many impressions on each other in these environments as all of the advertising you're doing. And of course, they believe each other, they don't believe you. So if your marketing budget is mostly focused toward what you're saying to them, you may need to think about making a shift here and put more of it into getting them to say things to each other that are the things that you'd like them to be able to say. And the consequence of this is pretty profound. It means that you're used to thinking of your customers as a source of revenue, right? They're at the end of the funnel, they buy things. I'm telling you that your customers are now a marketing channel. Once somebody buys something, then you need to think, all right, how can I get them to be so happy that they're going to be talking to other people? Gee, maybe I should put 2% of my marketing budget into customer service. That would be one way to help. Now, I can talk to you about all the statistics, but I'd like to actually describe this in a very personal way about something that happened to me, and then see if I can sort of show the consequences of that. How many of you are familiar with 12 Force? You know what that is? Okay, so 12 Force is a Twitter system that's available through Best Buy. And if you have a problem with technology, you can send a tweet to 12 Force, and then it answers you. They answer you. And I actually experienced this recently. Now, I write about 12 Force in the book. It's in the first chapter. But I was in a panic, and I said, oh, wait a minute. I know about this 12 Force thing. Let's see if it works. So I had a trip to California planned, and I was going to be driving all around the Bay Area, and I knew that I would be completely lost unless I had my GPS. And of course, on the Sunday before I was supposed to go, the cable broke. And I was in a panic, and I went and looked in Radio Shack, and they're like, yeah, here, we'll send it to you. It'll get to you in 6 days. And I'm like, no. I need this now. So I said, wait, let's try 12 Force. So I typed in a tweet. I said, hey, 12 Force, I need a cable for such and such kind of GPS. Can you help me? And somebody named Terry responded within a few minutes and said, yeah, sure, we have that. And she gave me a link to their website. And I said, no, I need it now. Do you have it in stores near me? And I told them what my zip code was. And she said, oh, yeah, we've got it in the Burlington store. Oh, great. I can get there. But you know how it is. You go to the store and it's not in stock. So I said, can you make sure that it's in stock there? I don't trust this. And she said, here's the phone number of the Burlington store. You call them, and they will put it aside for you. Oh, okay. So I call the phone number. Yeah, we have this. Yeah, we'll put it aside for you. Just come to the customer service desk. Great. So I drive to Burlington, and I get the cable. But as it turns out, I've been thinking about getting a Blu-ray DVD player. And there I was in the Consumer Electronics store, and they had Blu-ray DVD players. And in fact, the DVD player on my other TV had broken, and the kids were unhappy. They weren't able to watch their DVDs. So I said, well, I'll get a Blu-ray player and I'll get a regular DVD player for the other TV. And then I saw there was an Apple store inside of the Best Buy store, and they had the iPad, and I promised myself an iPad. And so I got the iPad, and then in the book I wrote about a guy who was having a problem with the insurance on his iPhone and how they responded to that. And I said, oh well, this is probably going to break. So I got to the register. They said, do you want the insurance? I said, oh yeah, that's a good deal. So I walked out with $1,100 worth of stuff. All because they answered my tweet. Now the point is not just that they got me to buy $1,100 worth of stuff, but that there are now 300 people in this room, and all of the people who saw my tweets, and I have a lot of Twitter followers, who are now hearing about how good the service is at Best Buy. And they have to do that because Amazon is out there selling this stuff, and they have to get people into the store, so they have to work a little harder. That's what I mean by turning your customers into a channel. They turned me into a marketing channel. Now, the book, Empowered, is about all sorts of people in marketing organizations who created environments like this. This thing at Best Buy didn't happen by accident. There was a guy named Ben Hedrington who figured out how thousands of people at Best Buy could share a Twitter channel, which is not an easy thing to do if you're going to manage it properly. He did that on his own time. He works in their web department. The CMO of Best Buy, Barry Judge, told me when I interviewed him, well, we like half-baked ideas. We like ideas that aren't finished. So he looked at this and said, this is promising. And he went to a guy named John Bernier and said, see if you can figure out how to make this work. And John Bernier had to worry about things like labor laws, because hourly employees tweeting on off hours violates labor laws. So he had to figure that out and figure out how to roll the thing out. So my point is not just about what you need to do, but about how you need to manage your company to do that. And the way to manage your company is to empower these employees that then take these simple technologies like Twitter and figure out how to do interesting things with them. With the power that customers have, with the power I have to say, this company has disappointed me or this company has made me happy, the only way to move at that speed is to empower your employees to come up with solutions that help those customers, like John Bernier and Ben Hedrington did, and like Terry, the woman who helped me at Best Buy. So that's the message I want to leave you with, is that not only do you need to think of your customers as a channel, but that only empowered marketing employees and marketing organizations that empower their employees are able to compete in a world of empowered customers. That's it. Thank you.
So, Josh, it sounds like for exactly the reasons you described, Best Buy has mastered the organizational challenge of empowering lots of people, being not a top-down only organization.
That's right. Yeah.
But I do wonder how sustainable or scalable or repeatable at other companies is it if it relies on companies tweeting in their off hours, right? I mean that.
No, that's no good. That's not what you need to do. These employees, this is part of their job, is to respond. This is Geek Squad people, blue shirts, and their customer service people. And the person who responded to me was a customer service person. She was actually monitoring it. So if you say to your people, hey, we've got something new for you to do. In addition to your regular job, we want you to respond to tweets. First of all, it's not organized. Second, they don't know what the right thing is to say or not. Yeah, sure, we'll give you a free washing machine. Well, actually, you're not supposed to do that. This has to be a systematic thing. Whether we're talking about the generation of ideas or the response to tweets or any of that, it means changing your marketing organization so that the employees know what the strategy is, and then when they come up with ideas, you have a systematic way to nurture those ideas like they have at Best Buy.
So our final keynote is from Keller, who is the Chief Marketing Officer for Priceline.com. You've probably seen some of its creative marketing. Brett?
Thank you.
Oh, sure.
You look up the screen, please. It's become a free impression for me. Thank you very much. Cheapest marketing I've had all week. So let me do this. I'm just going to give you a... Oh, that's scary. He is 79. That guy's a little slack, right? Yes, he's 80 in February. Send him a tweet. He'll like that. So let me just give you a couple of minutes of background on Priceline, just to set the stage for just a couple of trends I'd like